Now that I am sober, I take back what I said. I'm sitting with this love hangover, and boy, it's hurting my head. It's the middle of October, and we just came to an end. I'm just sorry that there ain't no time left.
Hey there people, Ryan White for hypeonmusic.com.au. In today's video we're going to break down some really simple but powerful concepts to help you become a better guitarist when playing with vocalists. So let's jump in and break this one down. So there's three things we need to keep in mind when we're learning to play with singers, and they are: number one, we need to know the song and the groove. Number two, we need to be reliable. And number three, we need to know where to fill. Okay, so point number one, let's unpack that a little bit. Knowing the song and the groove. So when we say knowing the song, that's just really basics. That's knowing your chord progressions and the form of your song. Okay, so the bar lengths, what chord voicings you're going to use, really straightforward. Knowing the groove is even more important. So you would have seen from the demonstration in the introduction, this groove. Like that. So you can hear it's very simple but very strong rhythmically, and when we are a solo acoustic guitar or solo guitarist accompanying a singer, we need to make sure that we are hitting all of those accents to make sure there's a really solid foundation there for the vocalist so they can focus on giving a great musical performance rather than wondering what the hell the guitar player is doing in terms of the feel. So know what genre you're playing, understand the feel. Point number two, people, we're going to talk about being reliable. So this is everything from your timing to your feel changes to your visual cues. Now, timing is really straightforward. If you don't have solid timing, you need to work on developing that either with a metronome, playing with more recordings, other musicians. Super important to have great timing as an accompanist. The other thing too is feel changes. You don't want to be going into too many double time or triplet feels, you know, trying to throw a singer off. So as you play with singers over time, you can become or develop more of a relationship with that singer where you can get a bit more creative depending on what genre of music. Say if you're a jazz duo, you might be able to get a little bit more out there, rubbery with your timing. And then the last one to take into account, people, is visual cues. So really common scenario when you're playing a duo, you might be laying a groove down on the chord progression, just setting the groove up, and then the vocalist isn't sure when they're going to come in. So what you need to do is to be constantly making eye contact, making sure that there's a connection between the two of you on stage when you're giving the performance. Very common, a vocalist is just looking for it. Yep, here we go, like just a little raise of the eyebrows or a wink or whatever cue you come up with, you give naturally. That's what you go with. And vice versa. There'll be some times when you'll be giving an intro like that and you don't know when the vocalist is going to come in. So a great tip I learned over the years doing a ton of duo gigs is look at the singer's lips. So look for them when they're going to enter into that first phrase. That's a really important visual cue, and very important for both of you to be constantly paying attention to that. The third point we're going to talk about today, people, is where to fill. Now this is a really important point to get right as an accompanist, because the last thing any vocalist wants is a guitarist who's just going over the top with licks or fills, just getting in the way of the vocal phrase. And knowing where to fill, as I just alluded to there with that last sentence, is at the end or the spaces in the vocal phrasing. So that's one point to add all of your fills, for example. So you might have a groove like the one we just heard earlier. When the phrase ends, you can put in a little fill like that. Another great way to add a little bit of variation with your performance, for example, with a groove like that, is you can get a little bit creative with your bass lines, but do it in a subtle sort of way. So you might have okay, so that's a little bit more subtle, and again, these ideas are really important to apply them where there is space between the vocal phrases. And when it comes to filling, less really is more. So that covers some really important concepts for guitarists when it comes to playing with vocalists. If you practice and develop these concepts, you will have lots of vocalists who are happy to play with you, which at the end of the day equals more gigs for you. Make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons, people, to support the channel. And if you'd like to learn more about the ideas from today's video in the overall context of mastering the fundamental skill sets of contemporary guitar, make sure you check out the High Point Music Guitar Fundamentals program. Links are in the description. This course will truly set your playing apart and shave years off your development, as it covers all the processes that I use with my one-on-one and private students. You can even try the course on an obligation-free trial before you buy it, so there's no excuse to be stuck with your playing any longer. And lastly, people, to become a valued member of the channel and support the content that I'm putting out here, please follow the links below and sign up for a $1 per month Patreon membership. My name is Ryan Wyatt. Hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I look forward to catching up with you all in the next one. Until then.